All right, welcome back as we get set up to get underway with match number 2 for today. Thank you to Pon and Reginald for finishing in about an hour and 10 minutes so that the next match hadn't started yet. Love to see it. VVilliams, Kyle Painters going into a first pick Nomad 1 here. Match seems to be quite slow to start, actually. It's almost 15 minutes, but whatever. Kyle Painters on the left-hand side of the screen. We got Lane, they've got Mario, they've got Woodsy, they've got Curtis, Korean Malco, You're Cute, Peekapoo and Kyle, Matthew, and VVilliams on the other side. Chillier, Defonza, Koro, Kingling, Lalza, Versoa, Miles, Sigi, and Yokespie. A team that we have not gotten to see on stream at all, despite, in a way, kind of the defending champions. I mean, it feels weird because, like, the rank range changed, but I mean, they did win. Most of these players were on the team that won last year. Problem is, it went from, rank restricted 300 to open rank, so they are much less strong this year, although clearly not letting that bother them as they are here in semifinals week, so still around past when some teams of higher ranked players had already lost. But they're going to start to see their toughest tests yet. Kyle Painters has been a team that has just managed to stay alive in some matches. They lost to one dance last week, but they had previously won on 2 back-to-back tiebreakers against Sean Zosu Spam and against Maxwell. So they're a team that's able to come through kind of in the clutch. Likewise, this will be a very stern test for them facing off against VVilliams, a team that knows a lot about Hippo Cup pools. It's a team with some players who are really good at the types of maps that show up in this tournament and not many other tournaments, which is kind of where they've gotten a lot of their wins in previous years from. A little bit of avoidance of raw mechanics in favor of some more awkward picks when you've got guys like Yokespie and Dekoro on your team. And Kyle Painter is saying, we're going to go straight into raw mechanics. We're going to go Nomad 1, just giant aim first pick. Now, that's not to say that VVilliams does not have players who are very good at raw aim, but I would, if I were playing against them, probably go into things that are a little more mechanics heavy, especially as a team like Kyle Painters that has some really good mechanic players on it. And this one, starting off pretty well for them. It's an 8 million point lead. No FCs left anywhere in the lobby, but I mean, looking at the combos, you've got just shy of 800 for Peekapoo, you've got 350 on Korean Malco, you've got 300 on Kyle. Meanwhile, one 300 combo on VVilliams, and it's on Sigi. Nobody else anywhere close. Sigi, who has historically been one of their best skill cap players in this tournament as well, the teams that he is on, typically he ends up playing a large role in late rounds. I think one thing that's going to be super important for that team will be getting picks that they can put in kind of their specialists. Putting in Ikoro and Yokespie for those reading and low AR maps. I suspect that Kyle Painter's probably banned a couple of them, which we'll check on once this map is over. I'll give a ban recap since we missed it. But if I'm going against this VVilliams team, I am definitely banning low AR reading gimmick stuff, because giving Ikoro and Yokespie maps like, the Nomad 8 here or Nomad 5 here. Is 5 the right one? I don't know, whatever. The CS5 AR5 one. It's just kind of a death sentence. Whereas maps like this, obviously, just playing right into Kyle Painter's hand. The more you can keep Ikoro and Yokespie out of the lobby, I think the better. And this is just going to be a very solid first map victory here for Kyle Painters. Super comfortable win, never in doubt. 20 million plus points. This is gonna be one of those weirdo lobbies where like some maps they have no fail on and some maps they don't, instead of others where it's just been no fail on everything. So it's gonna be interesting to look back on, but it doesn't really end up mattering at all. Very good performance from Kyle Painters. 2 players over 20 million versus just Kingling at 20 million for VVilliams, and nobody else really having as great of a time. Honestly, with it being a 17 million gap, that second 20 million plus from Pikapoint is a huge part of that. I mean, it's 7 million points, 9 million points actually, between Pikapoint and the second highest score on VVilliams. So, very key to have that, and that's a 1-0 lead for Kyle Painters. They take the first pick successfully. No doubter. So as we look back, I don't know. I don't know what the 4th ban was. I'm missing a ban here. At K, what was the 4th ban? VVilliams banned DT4 and DT2, so they did go ahead and ban out a couple of, you know, pretty mechanically demanding picks. Kyle Painters with Free Mod 2. I don't know what their other ban was, though. Nomad 5 was the second ban from Kyle Painter, so they did ban out they banned out Billie Jean and they banned out the CS5 AR5. That's just gonna be Nomad 8 as a no shock at all there. First pick for VVilliams. Absolutely the most expected thing you'll ever see in your life, I'm pretty sure. This is CS8 AR0, and it's, you know, you've got players on that team who are just gonna come in and kind of run train on this pick. Very curious to see how Kyle Painters does on some of these types of maps, because there's only so many mechanics picks in the pool. They're gonna have to end up playing some stuff that's not, you know, raw aim, raw tapping, whatever. But this is, oh, I forgot, like, I actually forgot about Lulzip. I mean, he's like an easy player, so anything low AR he's gonna be good on too. He hasn't historically been on these rosters, so I kind of didn't have him in mind, but yeah, also a very good low AR reading player. God, this song is so bad, though. Ugh, why me? All right, so in we go. We've got Matthew, Kyle, You're Cute, and El Condor Pasa. Hate that name change. It's just Mario. Lulzep, Akoro, Kingling, and Yokespy. This is such a stacked roster for VVilliams on this map. I mean, I don't know that we're gonna see another triple SS like we saw last match, but like their roster for this is so good. We might actually see a couple of SS. I think Akoro will SS. Lulzep could very well SS. Yokespy even could. I mean, this is not a hard map to hack. So like, if you FC it, you are very likely going to SS. That's kind of how I felt about it last time, was that I think every FC was an SS, because it's such low OD. If you hit the notes, you're not gonna ever hit anything but a 300, unless you're Lulzep, who apparently missed a slider in there, I guess. So I guess I tell a lie. Is this super high HP? This is just super high HP, isn't it? What HP is this actually? What is going on? Nobody can get HP back. I have to go look now. Why is this HP 10? Why is this HP 10? I'm so confused. All right, good job, Kingling and Ikoro in the SSs. Lalzep missed a slider end, but FC'd. That might be the first time I've seen that happen. And yeah, that went exactly as you'd expect it to. VVilliams take the free point. I mean, that was just a freebie, because you only have 2 bans. And all right, well, this is really funny. You know, stylistically speaking, between these two teams, how one team goes no mod 1, no mod 2, banning out an Air 8.5 2B free mod and a CS5 Air 5 no mod. The other team bans out like two tapping DT picks, and they first pick CS8 Air 0. Like, it's literally the most opposite skill sets to ban and pick you've ever seen in your life. Like, one team is literally just trying to mechanics abuse, the other team is just literally straight up trying to gimmick abuse, and that's it. This is genuinely, I don't know that I've ever seen a matchup between teams quite like this one, where the teams have such just perfectly diametrically opposed skill sets. And despite this being Hippo Cup, I almost feel that it advantages Kyle Painters, and I know that sounds kind of weird because Hippo Cup is traditionally like this super wacky, gimmicky map pool kind of tournament, but there's a lot of mechanic stuff available for Kyle Painters. I mean, you know, they go no mod 1, no mod 2, they've got Hard Rock 1, all of the DTs basically, so whatever DTs didn't get banned, they've got free mod 1, free mod 3, like they've got a lot of picks available to them. And then the stuff kind of in between is sort of whatever, right? Like no mod 3, no mod 4, Hard Rock 3, free mod 4. I mean, it's kind of a little more coin flip. And this is literally just a farm map. The way I like to think of this map is like if Knowledge King mapped Metal and decided that he wanted to map some aim instead of just nothing but straight comfy streams, because this is the comfiest of comfy stream maps. But the last Ki is actually turns into an aim map. I almost feel like the hardest part of this map is actually the aim, not the streams. And I know that's kind of a common thing to say about speed and stream maps because, you know, the like actual mechanical difficulty of stream maps is very binary. Either you can hit them or you can't. So if you can hit them, they're going to be generally fairly easy. But it really feels like, despite being a no mod 2, that this map is gated hard by aim in that last Ki. The one thing being, of course, that by the time you get there, it might not actually matter that it's gated by aim because you've played 3 minutes of the map already. But the aim requirement in the last Ki spikes up really, really hard compared to the rest of the map and compared to typical no mod 2s as well. But all that being said, this is a map that I think a lot of players in this match will do quite well on because it's, despite the star rating, I really don't feel like it's that hard. I don't know. I mean, I'm not very good at Osu, so maybe my my perception of it is weird, but compared to a lot of picks in this pool, this just doesn't feel that difficult, assuming that you have the base capability to play 210 BPM streams, because the aim component of the streams is very, very simple through most of it. And, I mean, you can see that happening in this match where, you know, Peekaboo and Kyle, Ikoro, Sigi are all just casually FCing like it's really not a big deal. Although there goes Kyle. The lead goes to VVilliams, perhaps a little surprisingly. And this match could take a very interesting turn if VVilliams can win some of these picks. They have players who are super good at just about everything. I mean, I talk about this being a mechanics-favored match to Kyle Painters, but you know, if they underperform at all, guys like Ikoro and C can definitely show up in maps like this, as can Chili Repair. Kingling lagging a little bit behind, but does have a very solid score as well. Actually outscoring Chili, just way behind in combo now. This is PP-able. And what did Sigi just miss on Donna? I don't know if is somebody gonna get PP from this. Ikoro, I don't know if this is worth enough no mod, especially with that accuracy. Oh god, Ikoro, brother. Oh brother. Okay, well there's no combo on Kyle Painters. This is actually over. Like I said, by the time you get to the last key eye where the aim is the hardest, it might not end up making a difference because one team could just be so far in the lead. And that's exactly what's happening. Ikoro and Chili Repair just bringing giant combo into the ending. And they both make it through the most difficult stream there before we get into the, well, not most difficult, but one of the most difficult streams. And then, yeah, just big aim. Large jumps. Oh, Chillier missed on nothing. And there's the big space stream. Ikoro hits that too. I wonder if Ikoro just intentionally, like, absolutely shit on his act so that he wouldn't get PP from this. Nah, he wouldn't do that. That'd be silly. But he does FC, because of course he does. And that is a break point for VVilliams. Good job. And Kingling didn't actually fail in the MP. He recovered according to the MP and passed the map. This is just tournament client not being able to deal with, I don't know, not very well. Yeah, that's an FC from Ikoro. And really, that's in my opinion, that's a pretty bad underperformance from Kyle Painters. Compared to, like, expectations from a map like that. Alright, where's the recent scores thing? Ikoro must already have a score on this. Let's go look. Oh. He has a score from 2 years ago. That's a 99 AC FC that's worth 600 PP. Good job, Ikoro. Anyway, that's VVilliams taking the break point. The 2-1 lead. And they're picked next. I'm crazy, but I almost think they... Actually, I don't think they picked Caravan here. They picked Grave to Rave. Yeah. I like Grave to Rave for them here. I think it's a pretty good pick. Still kind of opting into not so straight up mechanics maps. This one again. We'll see if somebody can actually FC it this time instead of choking the last 10 combo. Cough, cough. As much as I like this pick for VVilliams, I do think it's probably pretty contested. So I think Ikoro Yokespy are kind of the go-to guys for maps like this, and then the other players, we'll see how they do. Feels really big for VVilliams to have gotten that early breakpoint on a map that felt like it heavily favored Kyle Painters. Getting the early Nomad 2 breakpoint as this team against that team, I think puts them in a pretty good spot going forward in this match. And in we go. with Corey Malako, Kyle, You're Cute, and The Pro against Kingling, Yokespy, Akoro, Devons, Kingling, Yokespy Unhidden, Kyle, and You're Cute Unhidden for Kyle Painters. This one is all about the cursor and finger control. Those cut and flow patterns are devilishly difficult. A lot of easy places to break in a map like this. You gotta be in command of your tapping and your aim the entire way through. Already seen some early breaks. Yokespy broke right at the start. Kingling breaks a little bit later. Korean Malako and the Pro follow up as well. So we've got You're Cute and Kyle, as well as Akoro and Defons on the full-ish combos. There you go. Oh, goodness. That's a triple break from Kyle Painters. Malako, You're Cute, and Mario all missing. Meanwhile, Akoro, Defons, Yokespy all hold, as does Kingling, for that matter, on the backing combo. Kyle, the only combo left for Kyle Painters. We'll see if VVilliams can really run away with this one in the second third of the map now. That's a lot of combo advantage that they have in store for this next part of the map. And they're keeping it up, man. Very steady performance from those players. Akoro does break, but it's traded with Korean Malako. It's not the end of the world. Defons and Yokespy still holding. And the only... I mean, there's really no meaningful combo comparatively on Kyle Painters, right? You're Cute at 400, Kyle at 300 something. But against Yokespy and Defons, who are both over 800, nearly to 900, it just doesn't really matter. It's a 20 million point lead halfway through, and it's only going to get bigger at this rate. A triple reset for Kyle Painters leaves Korean Malako the only one intact. Defons is the only one intact for VVilliams, but with Korean Malako breaking, it's going to get... It would have gotten ugly if Defons hadn't broken right there. But yeah, this map is basically over at this point. It's going to be a consolidated break point for VVilliams. It'll be a 3-1 lead. And you could say that they are firmly ensconced in the driver's seat at this juncture of this match with the early consolidated breakpoint 3-1 advantage. It will go into another pick for Kyle Painters, so it's not going to get out of hand or anything, but this is exactly how VVilliams wanted this match to start. Take a break point on a map that it kind of felt like the other team was favored on, and then cleanly win your own pick with 2v4. Yokespy and Defons absolutely popping off. $25 mil, 29 mil, 30 million for Defons. Oh, and Devon's hit the ending, too. After last match, that's kind of sad to see that he broke before it. Yeah, I mean, 32 million points. I was just never in doubt. So, 3-1 the score. Breakpoint consolidated. Kyle Painter's next pick. Need a good one. I think... I think this is like a DT1 angle, if I'm to be honest. I think this might be a DT1 angle. Or possibly... could be a hard rock one if they want to go back to aim. But I feel like DT1 might be a decent idea. Kind of depends on how their faster players are feeling, I suppose. DT. Yep. He's just picking the entire DT. So, all right. So he's picking DT 1, 3, 5, and 6 all at once. Yeah, there's the DT one. Okay. He picks DT. Oh. We saw this one earlier. Malashevsky with the HDDTFC. Finger control speed, 255 BPM. AR 10. And just a speedy quick map. 2 minutes long. Bunch of bursts. We'll finger control. Alright, let's see who we get. We've got Korean Malco, Matthew, You're Cute, Curtis, Chilliest Pair, Defons, Sigi, Ekoro. The chilliest of pairs. And this... I mean, I predicted this pick for Kyle Painters. I thought this was a good option here. I think that speed is a skill set that is favored to them, but I also thought that Nomad 2 was favored to them. So, what do I know? Anything can happen at any time. This guy's daring. No fail on anything in this lobby. Meanwhile, the top teams in the winners bracket all put no fail on every map. There's a Virgin versus Chad meme here somewhere, but y'all can figure that one out yourself. This feels like such a difficult map to be super consistent on it for like anybody other than the best tapping players. It kind of stop-start rhythm, finger control. I mean, it throws a lot at you. That's a triple break from Kyle Painters as Korea, Malcolm, Matthew, and Curtis all miss. Helps out for VVilliams, who've had a couple early breaks from Chillier and Ekoro, as Defons and Sigi hold... make that just Sigi. But Sigi's the only combo in the entire lobby, so he's going to be able to build a bit of a lead all by himself. Nobody else over 200 combo, and Sigi at 450, so if he can hold through this section, it's going to be really big for the program. And, wow, he does. That's very impressive from Sigi. As I said earlier, he has historically been the skill cap player for the rosters that these guys have put together, and there's a big break from almost everybody in the lobby on that cut stream pattern, and Korean Malco holds on. That's huge for Kyle Painters. He's going to give him the opportunity to try and come back in this one. He's been, as he breaks, he's been a very important player for them over the course of this tournament, often coming in clutch, but not going to be the case quite here, as now it's down to Curtis, but Matthew and Yurkun are backing him up as well, and there's not a lot of combo on the side of VVilliams. If they continue to hold, this lead is going to go back over. Sigi breaking it kind of the wrong time, unfortunately, right about halfway mark. Not the greatest, even on V1. There go Matthew and Curtis, though. Grimalco and Yurkut do have some combo, though, and there's not much combo on VVilliams other than Sigi. Okay, into the ending finger control section we go. Sigi has a combo lead over Grimalco, but he breaks, and that means Willie of Kyle Painter should be able to take this one. Even if Ekoro sees the ending here, I don't think it matters. And that will be another point on the board for Kyle Painters. This one stayed close, it stayed interesting, it stayed hard fought, but in the end, Kyle Painters take the point behind Korean Malco's 9 million score. By just about 2 million. Very close, but it's enough. If only Sigi hadn't broken where he did, it might have been enough. Three to 2. VVilliams' next pick. Still with breakpoint in hand. But the match stays close. So now we go over to VVilliams. What will their pick be? I think it's gonna be Nomad 4. Nomad 4 is a pretty good pick for them. Hard Rock 4 might actually be a decent shout. technically Nomad 3 is there. I don't love it. I don't love it. It's there. I don't know. I kind of like Nomad 4 or maybe Hard Rock 4. Oh, maybe even Hard Rock 2, depending on how they feel about the Hard Rock pool in general. I mean, not... I wasn't expecting the Nomad 6, but the Nomad 6 it will be. So we're going to do some more tapping. This one, you know, again, I talked about it. We saw it in the last match. It is the same pattern over and over for a long time. Just those back and forth overlapping slider with double notes in between them patterns just for 4 minutes. That's what you're going to see. As far as disco maps go, this feels... I mean, actually, I shouldn't say that. This is a disco map. It just feels kind of boring. Because it feels like you're just playing... you're just seeing the same thing over and over. Other than the bridge, where things get a little weird. It's a lot of the same patterns. Up until that point. See how this one ends up going for VVilliams, their next pick, trying to hold on to this breakpoint advantage. Bonds Miles Yokespie Ekoro against Your Cute Kyle Matthew Korean Maluko. While we're loading in, I'm gonna go take a peek. We have the other match going on. Cookie Nami versus Spezzy. Cookie Nami kind of feels like they're at a decent spot here. It's 4-2. So, great point in hand for Cookie Nami as they attempt to stay alive another week in loser's bracket. I thought they might get skill capped a little bit, but I think Spezzy might run into a similar problem. Kind of similar matches. They could both be 4-2 after their 6th map. A couple early breaks there from Defons. Not having the greatest of times in the intro. Lead goes to Kyle Painters. Kyle breaking as well in that first couple hundred combo, but recovering a little faster. And yeah, I hope you like, that pattern from the intro, because you're going to be seeing it a whole lot. And it's just a matter of how consistent you can be on some of those, plus the weird little space patterns that get thrown in, like the one that Your Cute Matthew and Yokes pile just broke on. So you got Miles Nakora with the FCs remaining for VVilliams, Korean Maluko with the FC for Kyle Painters, because who else? And Kyle with the backing combo, but it does leave several hundred combo advantage for VVilliams. Wow. Okay, as we transition into the next little buzz slider pattern, Defon's Yokes by Kyle and Your Cute all break. And now it is Miles and Koro breaks. That is not who I expected to break. There goes Miles as well, and now it's just Korean Maluko, the only one in the lobby, and it's an 8-way reset. The entire lobby at about 70 combo or under. Nope, Yokespie did not break, so Yokespie still has a little bit of combo. Nobody else really, though. And that helps things out for VVilliams. Their lead about 4 million points. Not a ton of combo to speak of for about anyone in the lobby, but Yokespie at that 300 will help them expand this lead a bit as we go through the middle third of the map. And Kyle Painters having trouble in their hidden players, transitioning into these little kick slider, buzz slider patterns as Kyle and Your Cute both break. Nope, Your Cute did not break. That was Bancho slider miss. And into the next Ki. Let's see here. Something's got to give. There goes Defons. There goes Miles on the big space pattern. He breaks the entire thing. Kyle the next. But there go Kareem, Malcolm, Matthew, Ekoro, Your Cute. Everybody except for Yokespie broke. What the... Yokespie, the combo warlord, truly the Hippo Cup player of all time. And a lot of yolks in smoke in there across the lobby. Yolks pie. Koro with the yolks. And that might have just won them the map, honestly. The fact that he held through there and is going to get them hopefully a little bit of free score through this awkward stream pattern. Okay, there goes the flow aim. Goodbye. I didn't think this was too fast for him, but he definitely had some trouble with it. It's okay, though. Nobody else really hit it either. And Fonz holds to match. You're cute. So... VVilliams going to come into the ending with a 12 million point lead. And that should be more than enough to take the map and to take a 4-2 advantage. Okay, yep. Miles and Accord did a nice job hitting that space pattern. Lead's going to come down a little bit due to the 4 combo on the side of Kyle Painters, but 3 of them immediately break. And 4-2 is going to go the score, so we are going to have a brief moment of both matches being at 4-2 as we wait for the next map to end in the other one. And do not look at VVilliams' team score. It is not allowed. Very nice performances from Yokes Koro and Miles, all very similar, actually, within 300,000 points of each other. 19 mil on Korean Moloko and Yurki, both of them not too far behind, but unfortunately Kyle and Matthew just did not have a great time. Pick back over to Kyle Painters, down 4-2, but it's only 1 break point. And, well, it might be a DT6. Honestly, they've got players on their team for DT5, but I don't know that that's a great option. I don't think it's DT3. It doesn't really fit the mold. Could also be a free mod 3. If that's available, yeah. Could be a free mod 3 here. Just kind of a no mod 5-esque pick. Very tapping heavy. Free mod 1, likewise. A little lower BPM than the free mod 3, but still plenty of tapping. That one a little more about the finger control. Also has some weird flow aim in it. Four Seasons has a little bit more, you know, kind of complexity. It's not quite so one-dimensional. I don't know. I kind of like just another tapping map, though, if I'm Kyle Painters here. I think, you know, no mod 2 notwithstanding. Yep, free mod 3. All right. Bingo bango. Are they just listening to me, you think? They just have the stream open. They're just listening to what I tell them or what I say they should pick. That's 3 in a row. Yes, this is, you know, no mod 5, but 2014. It's Cherry Blossom. It's, you know, not quite as one-dimensional as a lot of modern no mod 5s are. But it definitely has that feel to it. This was, actually, you know, a song and map that people have seen before in this sort of speed tapping slot. So, tournament players and viewers alike will be familiar with this pick. All right, so in we go. We've got Peekapoo and Curtis, Kyle, Korean, Malco, Chili Repair, Sigi, Akoro, Kingling, and I don't want to say that this map is a foregone conclusion, because nothing is ever a foregone conclusion, but this seems really heavily favored to Kyle Painters. But I said the same thing about Nomad too, you know, so I'm saying this knowing that it's very easy to be wrong. I don't know if there's anybody who's so great at just the raw speed come out of this other than maybe Curtis and I guess Peekapoo apparently in this lobby. Sigi seems to be doing well for himself also. And early lead is to VVilliams, thanks to Kyle and Korean Malco struggling a bit at the start, or I guess mostly just Korean Malco, I guess. Actually not, well, it's a triple FC. Okay, there it goes. Goodbye, Akoro. Leave this lead should be going over, and there it goes. Double FC, or one FC on Peekapoo, and double big combos on Curtis and Kyle. And Korean Malco not too far behind. Williams in a spot where they're going to need a lot of help if they want to get a break point out of this one. Kyle Painters doing well in their own pick at about the 2/3 mark. They take the lead, and it's going to start to grow a bit. As long as those three combos stay intact for Williams, honestly, this will not be over until the very last moments. But players seem to be pretty comfortable. There goes Curtis, but Kingling trades it. Sigi trades. Oh my god! It's just everyone. Korean Malco is going to be the only combo coming into the ending. Oh my goodness. What did I just watch? Just 7 misses. I guess I am blind because I totally didn't see what they all missed on. But Korean Malco doing his duty for Kyle Painters. He's been this guy for them quite frequently, and this is one more example of that happening. And he's going to bring them the victory by 13 million points and bring it back to a 4-3 score, keeping this one only one map apart. Next pick over to VVilliams. After going Nomad 6 on the last pick, we do still have a couple of Nomads available to them. Nomads 3, 4, and 7 are still there. They've gone a Nomad, 2 Nomads and a free mod so far with their 3 picks to this point. I don't know that they necessarily go another free mod because, I mean, I don't think it's free mod 5 and I don't think it's free mod 1. So we're thinking another Nomad here. I think they go back to the Nomad pool. I think this might be a Nomad 7 angle. I still think Nomad 4 is probably good for them, though. Taking some time on this pick, and it is going to be the Nomad 7, which I love and I hate. I think it's a good pick for them, but I hate it because it's 5 freaking minutes long. It's a very interesting map, you know. Xarius just does stuff. He never really gives you the same thing twice. You know, over the course of an Xarius map, you're going to see a lot of different patterns and styles, and a lot of them. This one's no different. The big scary part about this map is probably the bursts, but there's nothing easy. But those bursts are terrifying. It's like 330 BPM or whatever. And interestingly, over in Kukinami versus Spezzy, Spezzy's gotten the breakpoint back and tied it up at 4-4. So we'll see if the same thing happens here for Kyle Painters. Such an interesting song. You know, I've listened to it once or twice, looking at the map and stuff, and I can't decide if I like it or not. I really am not sure. It's very unique. I mean, it's probably one of those things where, like, if you grow up listening to music like this stylistically, you'll maybe enjoy it more. But it might, I don't know. This is not the sort of thing that's common to the Western ear. Chinese vocals are fascinating because, like, singing in a tonal language just lends a strange sort of aspect to the vocals that I don't feel is really present in vocals in a lot of other languages that I've listened to music in. I feel it's unique to Chinese music. Well, it's probably not unique to it, but in terms of what I've listened to, it's unique to it. Anyway, in we go. We've got Your Cute Korean Malako, Peekapoo, and Kyle. Yoxpai, Defanza, Koro, Sigi, and yeah. Well, Sigi won't be FCing. You got a lot of slider aim, some actual aim, some fast bursts, and overlappy patterns. And it just goes on for a really long time. And you have to keep your concentration up. The Xarius method. Oh, those wide angles are brutal. Yoxpai and Akoro both breaking while all four members of Kyle Painter's hold. And that'll be the early lead. Going their way. Those wide angles are so easy to break on as Peekapoo becomes the next victim. Kurumi FC'd this yesterday? Is that right? Somebody was in chat. It's pretty ridiculous. A lot of solid combos through the first quarter, I guess. Your Cute Korean Malako, Kyle, all holding into this first chorus. Defanza and Sigi doing well for themselves. Sigi with just that very early break. Peekapoo and Kyle missing, so Korean Malako and Your Cute now. Combo. There goes Korean Malako. That makes things interesting because that's 1 FC to 1. Your Cute and Defanza, but a big backing combo advantage for VVilliams that is now just thrown away as Yoxpai and Sigi break. Akoro, though, still is holding the backing combo, so and they do still have, 450 combo versus 3 players at considerably lower combo than that. But the room for error now kind of disappeared there for VVilliams through this middle third. We do not speak of what Defanza is doing, by the way. It's just over there. We are not speaking of it. Defanza on the FC, Your Cute on the FC for the other side. Backing combo advantage on a couple of members for Kyle Painters, but Akoro is making the difference with his near 600 combo. You can see, though, the score. I mean, it's staying very, very close, so it's going to be a matter of if and when some of these bigger combos end up breaking. As we get into these really crazy bursts, those are 330-ish BPM 5-note bursts. And you can see what happens. Everybody, 3 members of Kyle Painter's break there, and so do 2 members of VVilliams. And now it's Defanza and Akoro against Korean Malako, and there he goes, and now VVilliams can run away with this in the second half. Yeah, that Ki just destroys your AC. Defanza went from an SS to 96 AC. He did hold the FC. That's the important part. And Akoro holding through as well with much better accuracy. Wide angles and space triples and a wiggle stream, and Defanza and Akoro hit it all. Well done to VVilliams. Yeah, Akoro's act, by the way, is disgusting when you can... Alright, well, we're just gonna watch the Fonz. We're just gonna watch the Fonz. This ending is wild. The sliders just go crazy. Alright, there goes the FC. And yeah, this ending is so freaking hard. That last chorus is just ludicrously difficult. But it's going to be a very comfortable win for VVilliams. Just great combos through much of that map. Really good scores from Defonz and Okoro. And just nobody even close to matching those two from Kyle Painters. 13 million on Yurcute and Kyle, but I mean, compared to 24 million, 36 million, like it's just on a different plane of existence, really. And VVilliams maintains their breakpoint advantage. It's 5-3 and 2 points away from advancing to the next round of losers. Getting very interesting here. Meanwhile, 5-4, Cookie Nami have taken the lead back on their own pick, but they are just, you know, on serve, you know, as it were. We need a phrase for that. Like, on pick just sounds really dumb. Even though it's the same attempted meaning, but it just doesn't sound good. Still maintaining pick order. Like, that just sounds silly. The next pick will be Kyle Painters. Well, they went Nomad. Oops, wrong match. They went Nomad 2, DT1, Freemod 3. Man, they're kind of running low on those types of maps. Like, they could risk DT3. I don't love it. I don't think DT5 and 6 really fit the mold. They could go Freemod 1, as mentioned before. You know, there's a little more complexity to it than just how fast can you tap. But Freemod 1 is an option for them. Other than that, I mean, you're looking into something kind of completely different. Whether it's, I don't know, whether it's more the aim-heavy nature of Hard Rock 1. Hard Rock, yeah, it's just Freemod 1, yeah, okay. I mean, I really felt like the only pick that kind of felt great for them here, honestly. Any Vaxay stands in the chat? This song is actually incredible, and I will throw hands with anybody who says otherwise. How did I describe this internally to myself? It's like bad for me, Amen Punk, the Squeak Quill. Except I don't actually know which one came first. I'd have to look up their upload dates. But they have, you know, they're both C-Mob maps, so it's just there's certain similarities in the style. They're both good songs, also. Excellent music taste mapper, C-Mob. I think we should probably be good to go here. So we'll get into map number 9. Bad for me is 200. This is 220. Okay, that's what I thought. Can we connect, please? Thank you. And hopefully nobody team fails. Oh boy. Yeah, and again, you know, this is kind of going back to the mechanics thing for Kyle Painters. This is pretty fast. Why is Yolkspy playing this? Alright, I am prepared to be amazed. Yolkspy on 220 BPM. I mean, there is a lot of this that's not just raw tapping. It is a lot of finger control with some kick sliders and slider aim, but still. I really wouldn't have expected him in for this. And early advantage VVilliams as they have three FCs left against one. A stolen breakpoint here would be immense for the program for VVilliams. To be match point 6-3 in their favor if they can take this one. Yokes a chillier break, but Kingling and Sigi are still holding on. There are still 3 big combos on the side of Kyle Painters, but only one of them's an FC. But Yolkspy, yeah, see, there's the concern with Yolkspy. And there goes Kingling. Peekapun trades, as does Curtis, though. And it is Sigi versus Korean Moloko. Kind of heads up here, but advantage in favor of VVilliams for the moment. The FC on Sigi doing a lot of work, but 3 misses from everybody else. If Korean Moloko could get some help from his team. If just sometimes doesn't exist. And Korean Moloko breaks. He falls off the stream. Sigi holds. And man, what a score here from Sigi we're seeing. Goodness sake. The rest of the team doesn't even matter. It's just Sigi putting him on his back. As he has done time and time again in late rounds of Hippo Cup in the past years. The Sigi backpack is deep and it is sturdy. And he takes his team to a 6-3 multiple match point lead with their second break point. That felt like it was the pick for Kyle Painters, but I don't think they reckoned with the Sigi full combo. That is just not something you prepare for. And the GOAT Sigi will now take his team to the promised land, 1 point away from a losers round 5 matchup with the MREC team, which would be pretty scary to say the least. And it will be the Nomad 4. Figured this would come out eventually. And here it is. You just figured that a team like this was going to pick this map sooner or later. And with 2 opportunities for match points on their own pick, I think picking it now is a good option because that leaves them something else if they don't win it right here. Because this is a map that does feel like it can be quite volatile. You know, it's a tech map, but you know, there's a lot of tapping that goes on and some kind of cursor control aim, not the normal just slider aim you see in a lot of Nomad 4s. Tricky back and forths and some wiggles and some cut streams and such, kind of littered throughout the map. And, you know, we didn't see Badu in for Team Reginald on this in the previous match, and again, you know, we may or may not see Yolkspy. I guess Yolkspy played free mod 1. He can play this, right? Clearly, the cursor control is the hard part. It's 170 BPM, so this happening is not as difficult. think we should be about ready to go here. We've got 8 players in. We've got Lane, Korean, Moloko, Yercute, and the Pro. Yokespy, Defonz, Akoro, and Kingling. I have seen Mario do some crazy things on tech maps in Hippo Cup in the past. We'll see what he's capable of here. I think this might be the first map for Lane, unless he was in like on Nomad 1. I don't remember seeing him in quite some time, if at all. But away we go. Tournament lives on the line here for Kyle Painters. Need to come up with at least 1 break point just to stave off elimination for a little longer to get themselves to their next pick. And they need a second one to force a tiebreaker if they can win their own pick as well. So it's a high task that they're being set. Have to win 3 points in a row just to force a tiebreaker and 4 points in a row to win the match. That break point that they gave up on Free Mod 1, that's a really rough spot to put yourselves in. But they've been up to the task, and they've been up to the challenge of making comebacks in matches before in this tournament. As I said, 2 tiebreak wins in the early stages, or around 32 and 16. I believe both of those, they were down a match. They may have been down a match point in both, I think. Well, they make a comeback happen here. It's got to start right now, and we get into these very difficult cut streams. Your cursor control is the most important aspect. So difficult to stay intact through these sections, and all 4 members of Kyle Painters gone. Yokespy and Defonz hold. That is going to be a big early lead. Look at how fast that lead has grown. It's 5 million points like nothing. And Kyle Painters just not seeming to be capable of playing this map at a high level. All 4 members continuously breaking in these sections. And that's not to say that VVilliams isn't having trouble on multiple members as well, but Defonz held through almost all that. Yokespy held through almost all of it. Akoro has recovered his combo. The only one to actually hold through this ending part of this section somehow. And the lead is 15 million points. And I think we can start to say a little bit of a GG here, unfortunately, for Kyle Painters. I was a little surprised to see VVilliams wait on this pick for so long, because clearly it is something that they are far stronger, at least through the halfway mark, than their opponents on. See if they can maintain this lead. There is just no combo on Kyle Painters, so I don't know there's going to be much to be concerned about if you're VVilliams, and they can just kind of coast to victory now. They've put in the hard yards, and now they're reaping the benefits. This is one of the more one-sided affairs we've seen in this match so far. A B rank on Lane, a B rank on Yercute, so it seems that just not a roster that was comfortable with this type of map. And when you've got Defonz, Yokespy, and Akoro all putting up really solid scores, there's not a lot you can do if you don't have somebody who's good at the pick. Comes into the last quarter of the map. And that's pretty much all she wrote at this point. There is simply not going to be much that Kyle Painters can do. They're watching their tournament lives falling by the wayside right in front of them. Yercute and Lane do bring some combo into the ending, but when you're 25 million points behind, unfortunately, it just does not make a big difference. Despite feeling earlier like this pool might be solid for a mechanics-based team, VVilliams took 2 break points on mechanics-heavy maps. They won all of their own picks, and this is yet another 7-3 in the books for this weekend. I believe this is now the 3rd 7-3 result. We will see. Well done to Team VVilliams as they take the victory. They will advance onward to face off against MREC's team tomorrow in the next round of losers. That one is scary, to say the least. That team is so strong in these stages. One of the best late round scaling teams there is. So it's going to be interesting to see how that match goes. This VVilliams team, I think, will still have advantages. I think after seeing how they perform today, they're still going to look good in that matchup on the gimmick maps. But the problem is, Emrek's team is so good on the mechanics picks that I don't think they're going to give up the break points the way Kyle Painters did today. And I think that's going to make the difference in that match with VVilliams. If they can perform like this again, they can definitely give them a run for their money in that match. So we'll see how it goes for them tomorrow. Kyle Painters are thus eliminated from the tournament. And losers round 4, they fall. So that'll be the end of the road for them. They finish top 12. Not a bad result. Not what they would have liked to see today, unfortunately. A little underperforming and some great scores from VVilliams. But onward they will go. And we say goodbye to Kyle Painters. And VVilliams will just super practice, and they'll super gimmick, and they will do everything they can to win. I think they're a better tournament team, if that makes sense, than Emrek's team. But Emrek's team has better players in terms of raw skill caps. So it's going to be a very interesting one. Again, a very fascinating matchup on paper. But that's going to do it. Thank you for watching this one as VVilliams advances onward. We're going to very quickly stop in for maybe one or two at max maps of Cookinami versus Spezzy. Spezzy is in the lead 6-5, looking to close it out on Fremod 3 here. But there's a chance that there's still... Nope, it's over. All right, damn. That's really unfortunate. We got the last 5 seconds. All right, I didn't realize it was already this far through the map. That's going to do it. Spezzy takes it 7-5. All right, well, we tried, guys. I did what I could. I did what I could. Oh, that's so sad. Well, that's going to do it for today's matches. Oh, man. What a shame. Spezzy 7-5 over Cookinami, so that sets up a matchup for them tomorrow against Team Karcher. Don't remember. I think that match is going to be 14 UTC. I really want to see Emrek's team versus VVilliams, so I think we're going to not, unfortunately, be able to see Spezzy versus Karcher just due to the concern of overlap. We'll decide on that at some point in the next 20 hours or whatever. But that does it for today's coverage. We have Spezzy versus Karcher and Emrek's team versus VVilliams tomorrow. The winners of those will face off against all G8 Bros and Pawn, respectively, next week in the finals week. With our winners final, Reginald versus One Dance up in that upper bracket. So that's will be what you're seeing tomorrow. That'll be what you'll be seeing next week. Make sure you're following the stream. If you're not already, hit that follow button. So we'll be back tomorrow for the last match or two of this week, as well as the finals map will showcase tomorrow afternoon, evening. And yeah, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Congratulations to today's winners. And we will see these losers bracket teams tomorrow on day 3, I guess, the final day of Hippogriff 6 semifinals. Thank you everyone for being here. I've been this one guy. We will see you tomorrow. Have a good day.